famous, voice actor, Hollywood actor, movie star. Don't believe all that. I'm a legend in my own mind. Hey, you know me better as the voice of some of the most popular cartoon characters in the world. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scrappy-Dappy-Doo, Puppy Power, like in Shaggy too. And you've got the Sullivan Project podcast. It's coming at you right now.
What's up, everyone? This is Harold Sullivan. Welcome to the Sullivan Project podcast. Hey Google, what time is it?
It's 6:12 p.m.
Okay, if I can remember now, I can remember that I'm blind and disabled, and so I got to use Google to tell the time now. And so if you all want to check out my journey, I appreciate you subscribing to the Sullivan Project podcast on YouTube, Harold Sullivan 78, and on TikTok, Harold Sullivan 78, and Harold Sullivan period 35 on Facebook. Sometimes we have guests, audio or video, and we talk about metaphysical, spiritual, paranormal, supernatural. We also talk about movies, entertainment, sports, art, comics, wrestling, you name it. I say movies, I say that music, whatever. Uh, and you can't judge a book by its. Everyone has a story, and you can't judge a book by its cover, and that's what we're all about here. So no judgment, just come on and talk. If you got catfish stories or you want something you need to get out, and you can let us know, or you can call in the show 724-513-1472. We're going to talk about some of my favorite movies of all time. I've done a podcast in the past about this, just mentioning just a few of them. My stomach's been bothering me still, but I think it's better here. Chris and I may do a podcast or another movie review this week, so uh, look back for that. And I may be having a celebrity cameo soon, so I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do one every month if I can. Uh, so so I'm gonna mention a little bit about each movie, and then I got some other stuff to talk about too. Uh, well, I might as well do the tribute now. I was gonna do this thing with Chris, but he's has to go out. He's busy, so he just called and said he couldn't record. So I'm like, okay, I'll do this. But so let's see here. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Hey, now you're an all-star, and the little singer from Smash Mouth just passed away. So Steve Harwell, I believe. I don't want to mispronounce. And pardons to Wyndham Rotunda. I think I mispronounced Bray Wyatt's name as William, but it was Wyndham. So, but yeah, All Star, Smash Mouth, All Star. I'm a believer. They redid from the Monkees for the Shrek series. Walking on the Sun. So many great hits. Very young too, I believe. He passed away recently. Don't know why. But I was going to open the podcast with that. Of course I did it, but I just tried to sing it and do my own. So shout out to another lost angel. Jesus. And celebrities. Bam, bam, bam. There's 3 or 4 more in the last week. Gone to another elevation. So what else here? I want to mention angel signs. Uh, I got an upset stomach. I was able to eat today though. So angel signs. If you check out astrology, how we have the 12 different. Each one has a corresponding angel. So mine is Sagittarius, and it's Zachiel or Zachiel. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But go check that out if you're into that kind of thing. Maybe find out who your angel or guardian angel or part of your team is. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, angel size. Second, split. Third, Steve Harwell, it's all in your head, and I prefer for Christmas they live.
Hey Google, delete the first one.
Done. It's forgotten.
Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told
This is
me.
how I take messages,
First,
tell
script.
time,
Second, Steve
listen
Harwell,
to
it's all in
stuff.
your head, and I
Hey
prefer.
Google, delete the first one.
Done. It's
Okay,
forgotten.
I did last podcast. Let's see here, 87, I believe. I can't remember. Best movie trilogies, where I just went through and mentioned probably 20 or 30 different ones. And again, we'll go into more details. Check out the podcast if you want us to, or me, if you want I or us, I don't know how to say it, me or I, to discuss more. Like if I have guests, we'll discuss those trilogies in detail more. Pick out a few. We'll try to dwindle them down. Back to the Future could be one. Talk trilogies. But one I didn't mention last podcast, and I believe that was number 87. I think I got 87. This should be 88 here. Uh, was the M. Night Shyamalan trilogy, Unbreakable, and then you have, I believe, Split's the second one, right? Yeah, Mr. Glass. That's a good trilogy, very good trilogy, from beginning to end, and I think they meant to do it that way too. Uh, so I'm gonna mention that. That'll entice you to go back and check out the other ones on YouTube. Uh, hey Google, what did I want you to remember? Now we're gonna get into
Here's what you told me.
some of my favorite
First,
top
Steve
movies.
Harwell, it's all in your head, and I prefer For Christmas They Live. Second, Halloween Space Jam Wizard of Oz Raging Bull Blues Brothers.
Hey Google, stop. Okay. So, Nightmare Before Christmas is an honorable mention. That's a kids' movie. Hey Google, what time is it?
It's 6:18 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. It said Tim Burton's name on it, but he really didn't have anything to do with it. He might have had some visual concepts and whatnot, but yeah, it was an animated movie, but it has a very good soundtrack. The animation is very good. Uh, this is before lost my sight. I just lost my sight a couple years ago, but I was born disabled. So, like I said, check that out. My story and others. And if you have your story, you want to say stuff, if you just need someone to talk to, hey, I'm here for that. We're here for that. So, but yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. Good story, good soundtrack, good writing, just good voice acting. Uh, just just a lot of good. But that's on an honorable mention. And then I think I have They Live, which is Roddy Piper. I mentioned this before. John Carpenter did the music and wrote it and directed. Roddy Piper in the 80s. Alien movie. One of the best fight scenes ever. And it's neat about basically this man puts on these sunglasses and he can see things how they really are. That's all I want to say. And it's pretty neat. Check it out. They Live. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember? Those are honorable
Here's what
mentions
you
though.
told me. First, Steve Harwell, it's all in your head, and I prefer For Christmas They Live.
Hey Google,
Second,
delete the first one.
Done. It's forgotten.
Hey Google, what did I want you to remember? I got some songs
Here's
I'm
what you
writing.
told me. First, Halloween Space Jam Wizard of Oz Raging Bull Blues Brothers.
Hey Google, stop. Okay, so we gotta go back to Halloween, which is probably my favorite movie, and as close as getting to be perfect as it could. Uh, except for the one scene where John Carpenter's smoke blows in outside, when they're outside and it blows on camera because they used to smoke. But yeah, Halloween 1978, and basically it's whoever's young has the fear of the boogeyman, and you all have been a babysitter or have been babysat. That was the premise. So it's basically about somebody being a babysitter and there's kids and the boogeyman. They think there's a boogeyman, and it ends up that there is a boogeyman. And I mean, this can happen anywhere. Yeah, the boogeyman doesn't have to be a certain thing. You see, and that's crazy. You know. So we got the boogeyman, or I mean, you got Halloween. Let's see, Space Jam. Might as well mention it in no particular order. Well, Space Jam with Michael Jordan, the first one. We're not even counting the second. We don't even have nothing to do. That ain't even nothing. But Michael Jordan, the animation, the story, which was pretty much Michael Jordan's life, except for the cartoons added in. So it was just neat, just if you're a fan of sports, Michael Jordan, cartoons, Bugs Bunny, all that. And then just the way he had to act without anybody there, people just with green, he had to run around green people, like people with green sacks on their head, uh, and pretend there was cartoons there, like so. And then the soundtrack, of course, I believe I can fly, and the Space Jam, uh, uh, Basketball Jones. I mean, there's just so many good songs on that soundtrack. Uh, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Halloween Space Jam Wizard of Oz Raging Bull Blues Brothers.
Hey Google, stop.
Second,
Okay, so Wizard of Oz. See, and all these have to have good sound. You have to have good all the categories. Good soundtrack too. Wizard of Oz, the first one. Good soundtrack, good acting, beautiful Judy Garland. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, one of my favorite songs, always gets me that teary. Uh, it's just one of them songs. And for what they did back then, in like 1939, I think 1940 it was, and the story was beautifully adapted from the uh, the book. Uh, it slips my mind now, but there's like 13 or 14 Wizard of Oz stories. So Frank, no, L. Baum, Frank L. Baum, Frank L. Baum, I think. I can't remember. But Wizard of Oz. So the first one, and then who else do we have? Blues Brothers, which I'm talking about the original one. Great cast again, great acting, great soundtrack. It's a good story, good ending. I mean, just all them little surprise little cameos in that movie. The Blues Brothers. So shout out, that's one of Greg's favorites. He put me onto that again after I lost my sight. I checked it out again. I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, when you lose your sight and movies are good or even better, and you can still follow them without your sight, that's a good movie. So directors, if anybody hears this or whatever, certain people think about blind or deaf people and how they will react to your product. Also, will they enjoy your movie if they can't see it? Because sound is a big part too. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
here's what you told me. First, Halloween Space Jam Wizard of Oz Raging Bull Blues Brothers.
Hey Google, delete the
Second,
first one. Raging Bull's another one.
it looks like you don't have any
Hey
lists.
Google, stop. Raging Bull, I believe it was 1980. De Niro. Is it De Niro? I believe it's De Niro. I can't remember. Joe Pesci and a couple other people. Uh, I didn't see that until I started losing my sight, and the acting was so good, and the movie's black and white, and it's almost like following his life around, almost like it's not found footage, but it's about the boxer and his life, Jake LaMotta, I believe it was, and it's just very good. I mean, it follows like decades of his life, and the acting was so good. I didn't even know who the actors. I mean, I didn't know it was Joe Pesci and a couple of the other ones. I'm like, wow, these are stars, and they're very young. My hip is bothering me. It's terrible. It's 90 some degrees though, and I got pain, arthritis pain. But yeah, that one there, uh, Raging Bull. It's a sports movie. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Halloween Space Jam Wizard of Oz Raging Bull Blues Brothers. Second, Deer Hunt 3D
Hey
Hunt
Google,
Harley
delete the
Davidson.
first one.
Done. It's
Okay.
forgotten.
So I did mention a couple podcasts ago when we did the Flash. Check it out. Greg and I did the Flash movie review 2023, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I mentioned Arlene Sorkin, the voice for the original Harley Quinn, passed away recently. So, geez, we got her, and then we have. I got 5 celebrities here, if I can remember, last week or so. We got her, and without her, there would be no Harley Quinn because the animated series was the first Harley Quinn before comics and movies, and they had a TV show, Batman the Animated Series. She did the accent and the voice and came up with the personality, as far as I know. And that would have been cool to interview her to see how if she just like where she came up with the inspiration, or if they told her to kind of go with that, like a certain thing. But she's passed on. Then we have Steve Harwell, right, uh, from Smash Mouth. Then we have Bob Barker, The Price is Right. And then we have two wrestlers, Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, and then we had uh, Funk, Terry Funk, the wrestler. This is in like the last week or so. Oh man. Uh, so 3D Heart. This is something I saw in my third eye a few months ago, just when I was nodding out when I was having one of them trances, and I saw like a 3D heart, just like I think it was beating, but it was weird. It almost looked like a strawberry, but it was like 3D. It didn't look like a real heart. It was like lit up and glowing, almost like a Christmas light type deal. That's how I get these images sometimes. um, Nose are itchy. I got my mustache cut or trimmed, and now that's itching me. And I can't reach my face with my elbows because they're locked on me. I have to eat with a long fork because of my disability. So I get an itch, I got to blow on it or get something to scratch it. Deer Park, I want to mention this. Now, Pittsburgh says recently they're going to vote on letting people deer hunt in the public park. And I just was like, okay, stupid humans. I don't even want to know the details. Just hearing that, they're going to vote on letting people hunt in the public, deer hunt in the public park. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Deer Hunt 3D Hard Harley Quinn TV guide, Flash making a
Hey
psycho.
Google, stop. Okay. So, Making of Psycho, I just recently got done with Alfred Hitchcock's and the Making of Psycho audiobook from Audible. It's a regular, they have it in a regular version, and I'm sure you can get it in other places if you're a fan of that. And I'd like to do a movie review on Psycho, maybe with Chris. Together, we have 100 years in horror movie knowledge, so we're the horror icons I come up with. So, we'll do that soon. TV Guide, that was something I might have mentioned before, but I don't remember. Something we had back in the 80s, 90s, and up. I don't know if they still do it. But if you want to find out what was on TV, you had a little book that would come out a week ahead of time in the grocery store or whatever. You'd go buy it. It was a pocket sized book, had all the channels and the times from a certain time on, whatever. And you had to look to see what was coming on ahead of time. Like, that's the way you looked up. So, for all y'all that complain now, I ain't going to stick my tongue out because I don't want to get spit on the camera. But wow, this is what we had. But it was cool for us because the clippings and stuff, they would have little ads or little mini, like if there was something coming on TV, like if Friday the 13th, like again, we were horror fans, Chris and they didn't put that on TV much, but if they did, and then they would have a little picture in the TV guide, we'd cut it out and save it. Just like those newspaper uh, clippings when the movies would come out and they would have like a little mini poster for the opening weekend. We would save that back in the day because we cherished that kind of. That's all we had was a newspaper clip. Huh. Uh, hey Google, what did I want you to remember? Yeah, TV Guide.
I remember you told
Hey
me.
Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me.
Goofy.
First, Deer Hunt 3D Hard Harley Quinn TV guide, Flash making a psycho.
Hey Google, delete the
Second,
first one.
done. It's forgotten.
Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, false history times travel do not save.
Okay.
Second, to meditations, comedy songs, light language healing, poetry channeling.
Okay.
Third, sponge feeling Tom Sullivan for two finger tap Brenda, blew up copycat.
Oh God. Okay. Let me talk. Okay, we got a bit here. So, my friend Gudon, the other day I talked to him. It's been a couple of years since I went blind. I haven't spoke to him. He's lost his hearing. He's an older gentleman. I tried to call him a few times in the past, but the number was still on. And the other day, we both have net spend, so we used to call each other when the check would come in to let each other know or whatever. So these checks were late. It was weird. And so I called. I couldn't get him. Or I called him. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just, try. And I called him. Got him on the second call. And I let him know I've been blind and all that and updated him. And it was actually, spirit leading me to get a hold of him again. And he actually saved me a couple times, helped me in the past. He drives one of them rascal scooters because he can't walk very well. And one time I got locked out in the back. I couldn't get around to the front, and he was the only person I could get a hold of on the phone. So he actually came up and helped me to get out of the gate, uh, to get down the street. And it was real hot out that day, so I don't know what would have happened, but I thanked him ever since then for that, and because he might have saved my life, and I don't forget that when people do that. And I've been close to death 30 something times, and I've had over 30 people die that I've known or that was close to me. So, and he's still going though, so we're in touch again, and he said he saved my number, so that's good. So we get to talk again. So, shout out to him. Guna, we'll call him. What else here? Two finger tap. I mentioned that before. It's a way of healing. It's neat because when I mentioned that, I just heard about it in the audiobook. Like that night, I heard about it in a podcast on something else. These are synchronicities that I like to point out. And if you notice, every day you'll have these things where things just tie in, and it's just like, wait a minute. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, false history times travel do not save. Second, to meditations, comedy songs, light language, healing, poetry.
I got lots of stuff I want to work on. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember? Jesus.
Here's what you told me. First, false history times travel do not save.
I thought,
Second, to meditations, comedy songs, light language, healing, poetry
meditations.
channeling. Third, sponge feeling Tom Sullivan for two finger tap Brenda blew up copycat.
Hey Google, stop. Okay. Tom Sullivan, I forgot. I think I forgot to mention him. He's a celebrity that I met at a convention in the past. He did makeup for Evil Dead, and he created the book for the Evil Dead, the look. So when I did a famous people or celebrities that I met podcast in the past, go check that out if you want to. I appreciate it, and subscribe or share and like. We appreciate all that. I just want to help people. I'm here for a reason, like we all are. And if I can help somebody, you know, just by hearing something, like I said, sometimes you hear something and you would never hear that again if you hadn't heard it from that person. And again, that spirit or God or whoever you want to say works through everyone. So you have to listen. Listen to everyone. Don't discount someone because that person may say something important. Uh, so Tom Sullivan, yeah, I met him before. And then we got the two finger tap. Now this mushy feeling, I've felt this a few times, where again, this is when I'm nodding off or trancing off, or in like a sleep thing. I don't know. It's almost like something touching you, but there's no feeling to it, and it's kind of like almost air, but soft. It's weird. It's weird. Like it's not ghosts or whatever you want to call it, because they usually feel like spider webs or hair or strings and things or energy. But this is something else I've felt a few times. Maybe it's extraterrestrial. I am not sure. Uh, but if anybody else has experienced that, let me know. If you feel something like that, just like hello, it's like trying to get your attention on your arm. Usually, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, false history times travel do not save. Second, to meditations, comedy songs, light language, healing, poetry channeling. Third, sponge feeling Tom Sullivan for two finger tap Brenda blew up copycat.
Okay, so two finger tap. Okay, copycat. Now I've heard this has happened a few times, and this means two things. Hold on. Hey Google, what time is it?
It's 6:35 p.m.
Okay, we're gonna get ready to go here. So a few times I've heard. Now after my sister's cat passed away, the black one, and this has happened a few times where I could have sworn, and they've had a few cats die, in several years since we've lived here. So I mean that happens. The backyard is turning into a pet cemetery. There's dogs back there and everything. But I could have sworn that I felt, and you feel something walking around on like a table and jump down, and on the floor walking around or on the bed. I felt that, right? Especially after that. I could have sworn I heard that cat growl a few times in my bedroom. And then now copycat recently, I don't know what it is, but it's been strange. I could have sworn that I've heard my brother-in-law several times, and it's not happened because obviously I would know, but I thought he opened my door a few times and spoke to me in the middle of the night, but there was nobody there. Uh, and a couple other times, and this has happened. And then the other day, while I was listening to the audio Bible, the voice changed into his. Right, while I was reading a verse, it was just creepy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Copycat's what I'm calling it, But and then when I mentioned Brenda, the ex-caregiver that I mentioned before, I had a few more images of her. One time she was very shaky and sickly, and it made me sad, almost like someone on drugs, which I thought she was on in the past, is why I had to let her go, and almost like she was crying for help. And then I had one of her, uh, the boyfriend she was with at that time, chasing me, and then he threw. Again, this is something else to do with fire that I've had. He threw some kind of bottle at me, and then shot it, and it blew up. But I got away just in time. I woke up. This was another image. I've been having lots of fire lately. I could have sworn I smoked smoke the other night too, in the middle of the night when I woke up. Uh, so I'm just having crazy, like psychedelic, whatever. I used to say when I was little I was psychedelic. You know, that's like almost psychic, but not quite. But it's true. We're all psychic, and that's another truth. And and actually, I'm on a podcast called the Quantum Leap podcast. I'm a producer, so and I've been on there a few times. So check that out anywhere where you listen to podcasts. I think we were about to wrap up here though, and I want to let everybody know love's a choice and so is to hate. And praise always, right? Up with Jesus or down with sin. Luck is a lack of faith, right? Uh, believing isn't. See, see, believing isn't seeing. It's conceiving. Seeing isn't. Believing isn't seeing. It's conceiving. I got so many of them. It's hard to remember. Yeah. Believing isn't seeing. It's conceiving. All right. Perfection is an opinion, not an existence. Forget to remember. These are all different things that may help you. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, false history times travel do not
We're
save.
gonna do one on
Second,
false
to
histories and time
meditations,
travel
comedy
soon.
songs, light language, healing, poetry channeling.
I think we
Third,
got her all.
sponge feeling Tom Sullivan for two finger tap Brenda blew up copycat.
All right, and we'll be back same bat time, same bat channel, whatever that may be. Some more movie reviews, and if I don't get back on for a while, maybe hit me up, make sure I'm okay, and I will do the same for you if you hit me up. And like I said, love is a choice, and so is to hate and be the light.